It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level.
The fourth and final DLC for Star Wars Battlefront has been released. This includes new levels for the new map Scarif, including a map above the planet, new game mode Infiltration, new weapons, new heroes, as well as new vehicles. The question is it worth your money, and should I have bought the Season Pass? As of this recording, the Rogue One Scarif DLC is only available through the Season Pass, which you can now pick up for $30 instead of the original $60. So what's new? There's 4 new maps set on Scarif and in the space above the planet. As usual, all the maps look beautiful in this game. That's one thing this game does absolutely right. Scarif is a new planet you'll see in Star Wars Rogue One when the movie comes out later this year. It is a lush tropical paradise that has clearly been affected by war-torn Star Wars. You'll see remnants of ships laying around, as well as bodies and other different bases. One of the issues I have with this new map is the fact that the paths seem to be kind of laid out for you. You can't really wander around it all without getting stuck on an invisible wall. This became very frustrating when you're trying to flank enemies. You could tell that people knew where you were going to come from and they could snipe you ahead of time. I felt very confined. I wanted to look around at these maps. These maps are so gorgeous. That's one of the things I wish this had, was the ability to just kind of wander around. But they kept you in this box and things would bottleneck in the same places every time, where you'd run in, you'd shoot a couple guys, and then more and more people would show up and you would die. There's no real way to kind of get around this. The only way I found was using the jump pack, and even then I would hit invisible walls or not get up on buildings or run into things and then get shot and die. It got very, very frustrating after a couple plays on this map. Let's talk about the new game mode, Infiltration. A 3-phase mode in which the rebels must first breach the shield surrounding Scarif by escorting a U-wing to the shield gate. Once they've landed, their objective is to create a diversion by blowing up the Imperial cargo ship. Immediately afterwards, the rebels must complete their mission by stealing the Imperial secrets and escaping. I'm a fan of these multi-step missions. They bring the aspects of different game modes together, but that's also a bad thing. So it feels kind of like they just took the game modes and said, how can we interconnect them, and they give this loose little story of how it would work. I would love to see kind of a game mode with multi-steps important to that planet. A prime example would be taking down the shields on Endor. You start on the ground, and you take down those shields, then you go back up and finish the space battle. Something like that would have been nice. Again, it just kind of feels like they patched these modes together and kind of said, hey, this is what we've got. So my overall opinion on this mode is it's kind of just a skeleton what it should have been. If they had a little bit more meat, I'd probably like it a little bit more. I did play a few of it, and I have to say this is probably my favorite one of the new DLC, just because it is different. It's not just adding the same game modes on a new planet, it is indeed a new game mode, so I applaud them for doing that. So let's talk about the new weapons. I won't be able to say much here because I did not have the opportunity to use them, but there's 2 new weapons in the game. One is an A180, a unique blaster pistol which can be modified to become other types. Once equipped, your star card hand will be replaced with 3 different modes you can activate: sniper mode, rifle mode, and ion mode. The DT-29 is a blaster pistol which uses ammunition instead of overheating system. This means you run out of ammo and you do have to reload. So now let's talk about the 2 new heroes. Probably my favorite part of every DLC is seeing which heroes get involved. First up, let's talk about Jyn Erso. Her power-ups include a rifle extension. Transform the blaster pistol into a blaster rifle. You can switch the mode between the pistol and rifle mode at any time without any cooldown. I enjoyed this a lot. I kind of like this because it gives you a little bit more flexibility when you're playing. I found myself a lot of times switching between it if I was close or longer range, and it did make a difference in my game. Her second power-up is a Sonic Imploder. The grenade deals high damage, blinds enemies, and reduces armor for targets. I found myself using this quite a bit. It actually is a very useful thing. Blinding the targets temporarily gives you the advantage of sneaking up on them so they can't see you, as well as the reduced armor makes you kill them quicker. I'm a fan of kind of like this little bit higher grenade style. I love throwing grenades in this game, and it's nice that it just gives you that little bit extra oomph that I'm looking for as playing the hero, so I feel a little bit more powerful. And her third active power-up is a Truncheon Surge. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but I think it's Truncheon. Jyn performs a forward shot melee strike using her baton. The ability to starts with 3 charges but can hold up to 9. I like this when I was in hand-to-hand combat with somebody like Darth Vader in Heroes vs. Villains, or when I had somebody in close range inside. I don't necessarily need my gun for this point, but it's kind of nice to have that melee ability to finish them off or hold them back. And then her passive ability. For each kill with her blaster or grenade, Jyn will gain charges for her Truncheon Surge. The amount she gains is equal to the level of her traits. Now let's talk about Director Krennic. He has a really cool ability that I used quite a bit called Armor Breaker. Krennic will fire a powerful blaster bolt that deals high damage and does armor reduction. What I love about this is the fact that it's a slow shot, but it does a lot of damage. It's kind of that do I want to hurt them really badly, or do I want to have a slow reload to be able to fire it again? And a lot of times I find myself using this at long range when I was kind of not sniping, but close to sniping people. It became very useful, and I could kill people in one hit if I needed to. He also has a C2B5. A unique version of an astromech droid is deployed. It is an AI controlled and it has the following abilities: a scan ping, a squad shield, or a Doxis defense. And the last of his active abilities is Wrath of the Empire. Boost team members in a small radius around Krennic on top of a temporary armor increase. It has the following effects. For regular soldiers, it will increase the total health to 200, but it will automatically deplete until the player reaches 50 health regeneration. Will not activate until the player drops to 50 health. For heroes, Krennic will receive a 10% temporary health boost. It took me a little bit to figure out how to use this boost, but once I did, I used it quite well. It was kind of easy and nice to have this little boost when people hang around you, but that's the problem. When you're playing an online multiplayer game, people don't tend to hang around you. Even if you are the hero, people tend to run off and do their own thing. I can see this being most useful if you're in a giant party with a bunch of friends and hanging out together. And the Krennic has a passive ability as well. An armor boost effect is applied to all nearby players, including Krennic. The armor boost effect is dependent on the number of players nearby. Heroes count for 2 players. So level 1 is 1 player, level 2 is 4 players, level 3 is 8 players. This is nice. If you're really good with Krennic, this could really help your team and keep them alive and give them an extra shield. This is really useful if you're playing heroes versus villains or maybe a smaller team. So those are the big updates I'm going to talk about. Again, there's also new vehicles, new power-ups, new HUTT contracts, and a couple other general things that have been updated to the game. The one thing I will say that came with this is the Rogue One X-Wing VR mission for PSVR. We did play it. There is a video of it on our channel if you want to go check that out. The other thing I will say is I feel like I got gypped for $60. If you bought the season pass for $30, more power to you, but I feel like as somebody who paid $120 for this game at launch, and I knew what I was getting into to a certain extent, but not really because I didn't say what I was doing or what I was getting, it kind of hurts. I feel like a lot of the stuff that they gave us should have been in the games. I think for me personally, I had no issues for the DLC having the heroes coming in. I like that because they had enough initially. I wish Chewbacca was in the base game and not added later on, but the rest of the heroes and villains I had no issue with because the main ones were there. I just wish that they'd added more game modes. They added one here and there, but a lot of it was just like, here's new maps, which again, they look gorgeous, but I want more game modes specific for those maps, not necessarily just new maps to play the same game modes. What brings me back to the game is when something changes, not necessarily when the same thing goes to something new. So that being said, what did you guys think of the Star Wars DLC? In general, what did you think of the Rogue One DLC? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you buy it full price? Did you not buy it at all? Did you buy $30? When did you pay for it? So thank you guys so much for watching. We do reviews every Tuesday, so check them out. And thanks for watching, guys. And as always, welcome to the second level. Bye.
Sometimes it's a little weird to think that you guys care about our opinion on anything. So if we do give you an opinion on something like that last video that you just watched, please do drop a comment and let us know if you've seen that movie or heard that album. We would love to know what you think about it, because this is a two-way street here. You know, we're telling you what we feel, but I would love to know what you feel.
I feel you.
That's gross.